You're tuned to Talk Erie and the Joel Natale Show. We're live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State. Also live on YouTube and on Facebook for our monthly conversation with Kingdom Financial Group. Ben Reiter, the certified financial planner, joins us. Good to see you, Ben.
Good to see you, too. It's been, I think, about 2 months since I've been here.
We had a great conversation with your colleagues.
Yeah, the boys. The boys. I listened. They did good.
Brent and Aaron did a great job. We kind of talked about young people investing.
Yeah. It's exciting because, Brent and Aaron are getting tons of experience, tons of very talented and smart individuals. And it's fun to see because 20 years ago, I was hired as the young guy,
right.
And so now it's fun to be at a different stage of life and bring on more local talented people that really want to help, clients and folks figure out finances.
That brings up a great point because we talk a lot about workforce on my show.
Yeah.
What would be a good, course of education? Who's the type of person that gets drawn to becoming a financial planner?
I can't completely take credit, and I'm not going to try. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. About a year and a half ago, one of my favorite podcasts. I always listen to you, Joel.
Of course, yes.
One of my favorite podcasts is Mike Rowe. Doing
Dirty Jobs.
They're doing the Dirty Jobs, and his podcast sometimes is great. He actually had a financial advisor on one time.
Okay,
and it's a guy from out in the Midwest, and he literally asked the same question: who do you look for? And he had some acronym for it. What kind of degree he asked?
Yeah.
Because in financial advising, there's two main ones. For college, it's finance and accounting. Are the two where you get a lot of value in it. The finance tends to be a lot of investments and other things like estate planning and valuation of companies and some big math stuff, but a lot of fun. It's kind of funny how that's all related to taxes, though. And so accounting, if you're going to be in financial advising, having a basis in accounting is very important as well. So those are the two main ones. But I was listening to this advisor on Mike Rowe, and he said something like he only looks for HUD degrees. Basically, that's the only people he hires. And he said it's hungry, something, and desperate. If you're hungry and desperate, I'll hire you.
Wow.
And it's the same as every industry, I think. I meet with a lot of business owners. I talk to a lot of people in a lot of different scenarios. And the trick today, I can share this. I have a 19-year-old nephew over in Ohio, and he's just graduated high school, and he's going into electrical type stuff. And him and I were talking one day, and I'd heard while he was in his senior year, he got this kind of internship deal with this company over in Ohio. And I said, I got two pieces of advice for you. It's going to be an internship, and maybe you want to work there, maybe you don't. But I said, they're really looking for two things as a high school kid. Show up on time.
Yeah.
And don't run your mouth.
Wow. Yeah.
And I said, if you're a nice human being and you show up for work and you work, they're going to love you. and they did. He's graduating high school, and they said, you're not going anywhere, are you? You're staying, right?
Wow.
And he got a job they want.
Huh?
Yeah, because he's a nice human being, and credit to him.
It's interesting because the hungry and desperate, that kind of leans to kind of the sales part of the job. I don't see you guys I don't feel sold by a planner, at Kingdom.
You don't have to, once upon a time in financial advising, it all was about the hot tips, or I got a product.
I got an idea.
You got to buy this life insurance policy, or wait, you got to buy this stock, and I'm going to make you a lot of money. And it was a lot of sales, and there was a lot of, and this is deep, and I don't know if it's all great for radio, but it's a fascinating time in the last 30, 40 years to be a financial advisor, because we have a situation in America that's never happened in the history of the world in any country, and that's the baby boomers. And the baby boomers have been retiring for a while now.
Sure have.
And they're the first generation of people that didn't necessarily have pensions or live off the government, and they're living longer. And so that group of people had to, at some point, start setting money aside. Mm-hmm. And so there is more average American people, I like to call them, who actually have money. And just 75 years ago, that was not a thing.
No.
That's never existed in history. And so there's a next one coming in the next 20, 30 years. This is really sad, but it's fascinating. Guess what? Those people are going to start to die.
Yeah.
And they're dying with a lot of money. And that has never happened in the history of the world before, where average normal people. So there's always been extreme wealthy people. We see that in movies, and we all like to dream about it, of getting a big inheritance, right, from the crazy uncle or the, whatever, the long lost relative. I go, now it's actually a normal problem that there's a little bit of an estate. Just 50, 60 years ago, people might inherit a house. There might be a house left over, but there wasn't, to say it grossly, there wasn't a stack of cash.
Sure.
And today, I'm not even talking about millions of dollars or anything, but I'm talking about significant, small retirement accounts and that sort of stuff. And it's a real cultural thing that people need to get educated on and go, well, how do I react to that situation? One, how do I plan for it if I'm leaving money behind? And then, how are we educating that next generation what to do with that money? Because sometimes I see it as a financial advisor, it's a little bit like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
And we've all heard the horror stories of what happens to lottery winners.
Sure.
And the fact that the money typically is gone within a certain amount of years.
But talk about, I also see the statistic of something like 40% of America doesn't have enough in a savings account to cover a $500 car bill.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
that's a whole other extreme, isn't it?
Yeah, that is an extreme, and it again comes to financial literacy and figuring out how to do that in habit forming, which we're passionate about, because I do love that side of it of just being able to do some educational type stuff, and you reach as many people as you can, because you've heard me on here before just talk about setting habits when you're starting, when you're young. I had fun this week. I got to meet somebody's kid, and he's a teenager. Came with mom and dad, to the office. And,
nice.
And I got to sit there like an old man and, and give advice that wasn't wanted.
Right.
That wasn't asked for. But it is kind of fun reaching that stage.
But if the kid mows lawns, and makes $300 a week mowing lawns, all he has to do is put $30 away.
At least something. I love money principle number 1, which just not enough people do. There's one first rule with money: spend less than you earn.
Yeah.
Start small with kids, with teenagers and that sort of stuff, of do something small, and you just get the habit, and you start to see some of that success, and then they turn around when they're 30 and 40, and they have more money than any of their friends. For some weird reason, and all of a sudden they're in better shape.
Are you? And again, I don't want to get deep.
Yeah.
In the summertime, but honestly, these are real issues. Are you finding that, again, when we talk about that 40% doesn't even have enough to cover an automobile repair? Are you finding that you're dealing with middle-aged clients that are having to support their elderly parents because there's no there? Is that a rarity?
I can get it. Yeah.
It's kind of rare.
It's kind of wild. I mean, I do come across it.
Yeah.
What's funny is people are living longer, so it's not usually middle-aged. It's people that are nearing retirement themselves, and all of a sudden they've got a parent somehow involved, which is a tricky thing. I think it's more of a philosophical question. I don't want to get crazy about it, but in our country in the last 50 years, it's something we've had to deal with, because people, we complain about healthcare and the cost, and we should, but the fact is people live longer now than they did 75 years ago. And that's what we're paying for. I like that.
Well, and we're doing these incredible things.
Yeah.
We have this incredible technology with medicine,
some
right?
Neat stuff as far as quality of life and everything.
We're going to replace your needs.
But I'll ask you a funny question.
Yeah.
You ever watch The Waltons?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know.
As a kid,
my mom liked the Waltons when she was growing up. So guess what we had to watch when we were under 15 years old.
Yeah,
I've seen more Waltons than I'd like to admit. But remember the grandparents? Grandpa
and Grandma lived right off of the kitchen.
Where'd they live? Yeah, right.
At the Waltons' house.
That's the way it used to be.
Yes.
A long time ago, was that people lived with their parents would come eventually and live with them if they lived too long. Gosh darn it. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah.
They needed help.
You know what's the scary thing is I'm probably older than grandma and grandpa right now, which is super scary. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. That's so funny. No, my point is at some point, again, in the last 50, 60 years, we kind of drilled it into our head that we don't want to do with that. Is that we want somebody else to take care of them. We want to, put them in a home. That became a joke for a while, or assisted living. And even the elderly people, they don't want to do those things. They want to live on their own. It's kind of, again, getting philosophical about it, of the breakdown of the family unit in America. And will we go back to that? Because that is an option that people kind of forget of, I'd like to get into a financial position myself that someday I can help take care of mom or dad. Or my in-laws. We all should. Again, another great reason for taking care of your own finances. I think we're all called to it as Americans.
Kind of have the bandwidth if you're called on.
I'm not taking care of myself. Yeah. I'm taking care of my family. Yeah. And my family's not just my wife and my kids. What can I be in that position? And it is possible today. Kind of funny. It triggered a thought of, have you seen all this stuff about the Europeans visiting here, the World Cup?
Oh yeah, they love our ranch dressing.
And they're re-falling into a love with America. And I've seen those comments actually about a couple of them of saying stuff about how friendly people are.
Yeah.
And how they see these families that are doing stuff together too. And how
that's remarkable to them too.
And I go, that families are friendly to strangers in our country, not in other countries. Yeah. That's neat. And I go, that's a cultural thing, right? We should be as Americans. We should take care of our family and friends first.
We've got Ben Reiter with us here from Kingdom Financial Group. Ben, I'm going to ask you a question I heard on another show earlier today about, as long as we're talking about families, let's talk about
related to money.
Adult children, okay?
Yeah.
And this guy asked the question, what time is the right time to kind of tell the adult child to kind of go ahead and move on your own? And again, this is a very personal question, but in the Italian culture, they'll live with mama until 35 if they could get away with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily in America. Do you have any thoughts on launching?
I have two sons.
Or failure to launch?
Yeah, I got two sons and I got two daughters. I got a 12 and 11-year-old boy and I got a 7 and 4-year-old girl. I've already told my sons that when they're 18, they're out. And
you did,
and the girls can stay as long as they want.
Oh my goodness, that's just not fair.
I know. No, I'm joking. A little bit, I guess, as a father myself. Let's take the careful route here, real quick. There is circumstances. I was just talking about taking care of parents. There are circumstances where kids need help too. Whether it's mental issues or things that have happened in their life or whatever. And I go, that's not something to scoff at. That's a
Absolutely
calling
not.
by parents. But there is scenarios where it's like you said, the failure to launch thing is that's just people taking advantage of situations and taking advantage of mom and dad who can't take care of themselves. And I go, sooner or later somebody's got to be an adult in the room. I was listening to an educational thing this week, talking about education in the United States. And this comes down to money and finances as well. And they were talking about the state of the education system and talking about how we've turned high school and this expectation about college where you just stay a student until you're 25, 30 years old. And I'm going, when do you actually start life? That's there are academics, there are things, there's doctors and things, but I go, this expectation that's really comfortable. Why don't we just keep doing that? We're not prepping kids. I get a little bit mean about this at age 18 to start thinking like adults. When did that start to slide? We said 18-year-olds were adults at some point in the country.
Well, and you have to start the prepping when they're 12 and 13.
Yeah.
They get a little bit more responsibility.
Teaching. And I'm big on money teaching.
Yeah,
I've told the story before to other people, and I always laugh about it. Because I work in finance, I think about this stuff every once in a while, and it doesn't mean I'm perfect with teaching my kids about money, but I laughed when my boys were little. Well, I mean, my older one would have been like 4, and his brother was 2.5. I used to pay them to go pick up sticks in the backyard. And I tell them a penny a stick. We had a tiny little backyard here in town, and I'd pay a penny a stick. So they started loving it. And the older brother, he's such a type A personality. He'd do it every single day. He'd go out and pick up as many sticks as he can find. And so I'm sitting in the backyard one day, and my younger son Clark is out there with him. And I turn around, Clark's 2.5, and he's starting to pick up sticks. He's waddling around in his big old diaper. And I look back at him, and he goes, "Hey, Dad, I found one." And he snaps it in half and goes, 2 pennies. I said,
That's brilliant.
No, his older brother is such type A. He said, "No, Clark, that doesn't count."
Right.
But it's teaching
I'm on Team Clark right now.
Little things. Yeah, don't got to teach a 2-year-old larceny. That's right. Jeez. But no, it's simple. Little things. You talked about kids and finances and failure to launch. A lot of that is money, of understanding what do you want in your life, what are the goals, having conversations with children and with people who are dependent on you, of saying, where are we trying to get? Financial advisors always should be about goals and saying, are we making progress? What happened this year? What decisions were made? What did I help teach you? The kid story is really about teaching little simple stuff. The bank thing. You mentioned
what about
banks.
the complaint though? We were able to buy our house for $70,000, and now there's nothing decent for under $200, and things are a lot more expensive, and so it's delaying. Man, it's delaying these milestones.
You're getting me on a lot of my stump speeches today.
Yeah?
I like this one. This one's fun. Today we've taught people that they can go and start a career however they do it, whether it's coming out of high school and getting into trades and starting to make a lot of money, or going to college and then you come out and you think you're a professional and now I've got all the money. So when those kids get out and get ready to start life, what house do they want?
They want what they just left. What they have
Mom
now.
And Dad's house.
Yeah, no.
Did that happen in the last 50 years that Mom and Dad got married, ran off from their parents, got married, and moved into that big giant house?
Into the 4-bedroom, 2,000 square foot
It's an expectation thing that we're not teaching. We're coming out with assumptions of what life is, and not having to work for it for time. I've got story after story after story of people who did run off and get married. I think I could share this. I remember I laughed about it with my parents. My mom was 18. She ran off and chased the guy that had graduated a year before her, and then he ran off to the Army, and she left,
Wow.
the guy from the wrong side of the tracks. And then they went off to the Army, and 4 years later, they moved back to where they were from in California, and they bought a little dumpy duplex. And then the house that I was born into, somebody had died in. So nobody wanted to buy it. It was a tiny little ranch.
Yeah.
But it's a story of, could they move into the house they wanted right when they got married? No. But they could work their way there. I go, I sound like a crotchety, cranky old man when I say, wrong. Unless you're one of those people that's blessed to make hundreds of thousands of dollars as soon as you graduate and you've got buckets of money, you're not going to be able to buy the house you want. And that's healthy. But go ahead and work for it, because it doesn't happen instantly for everybody. Start your family, start doing things, but put that in there. It's the delayed gratification thing when it comes to money. Everybody wants what we want now. And I go, no, that's not how money has worked ever in history. We're so blessed coming up here on the 250th.
If you wait till the things are absolutely ultimate, to have a baby, to get married, married, have a baby, buy the house, you'll never do it. You've got to actually follow your heart and follow a plan.
And don't get sucked into envy of thinking that this is the way life is. Work for it. That's a slippery finance thing that if I could teach normal people today, of the people who have money or have investments, they didn't get lucky. They made decisions. And they sacrificed, and they said, I want to get here. Some of them do. Some of them are really smart, and they have exponential growth, and some they start a business and it takes off wildly, but they had to take the risk. And they made that decision to take that risk, to start a business or to make investments or do those things. They had to give up something they wanted today. There's a reason. They set a goal and they went after it. That's the beauty of our country. I'm feeling patriotic right now. I'm looking forward to the fourth.
I think you're going to be watching a lot of the World Cup, see how far the U.S. men go.
No, soccer. I'm a red-blooded Midwestern boy. I'm a baseball, basketball fan.
Go.
Soccer's a good recess sport. Oh, that's offensive.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding.
I know
I'm
you
kidding.
are.
I love sports, and soccer's just never been my thing. I track. I'm a
I love seeing the scoring. That seems to be the issue.
And you see the stadiums. It's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, how do people get a hold of you, Ben?
Hey, we're right downtown, 652 West 6th Street, Kingdom Financial Group. Our phone number is 814-836-5234. Enjoyed talking to everybody.
I appreciate it so much. Ben Reiter, Kingdom Financial Group. Again, our monthly visit here. Stay with us.